So I've got hold of a copy of Blitz Bowl, which I've had to order from the United States. So let's have a good look at what you get. I played this for the first time last night and I am very, very impressed. But let's pop it open and have a look at the contents. So we have quite a thin rule book, dugouts and throw-in range marker, a double-sided fold-out board with two sides. These statues here are impassable, so you've got one board with 4 statues and 1 trapdoor, and the other board with 2 statues and 2 trapdoors. Both of them have got where you score, how you scatter on the side, so that's interesting. And welcome to the world of fantasy games. So Blitz Bowl, Blood Bowl, 40k, Age of Sigmar, Shadespire, Warhammer Quest, which does sort of date when this came out, Lord of the Rings, Necromunda, and White Dwarf magazine. You then have coloured plastic sprues. You've got humans and orcs. So these are the plastic sprues from the Blood Bowl starter sets. They've been out for a while. In the Blood Bowl starter set, people were complaining because you got 2 of each pose. You get 1 of each pose here, so that's not going to cause you much in the way of trouble. So I'll put those together a little later, but that's 6 players aside. Human and orc dice, so enough dice for each player. Enough bases for all your players, so that should give you 12. The challenge cards and the player cards, so let's pop this off. I'll quickly use the knife. So, and let's zoom in a little. We have here the stat cards for all the teams. So, Elven Union, Dwarf, Goblin, Human, Orc, Skaven, Chaos, and the drill cards which run you through how to play the game. So the game is very simple. You get 3 actions a turn, and literally on the dugouts it tells you what actions you can take depending on where you are. The challenge cards, you start with 3 of these dealt. As you complete them, you score points, and it tells you here what points you score. But if you go a turn and nothing's completed, you discard 1. And then when you run out of these cards, then the game is over. There are some special cards, which are the Endgame Challenges. You randomly select 3 of those and you put them at the bottom of the pile. So the last 3 challenge cards will be Endgame Challenges, where if you do a certain thing, if you score a touchdown this action, you get that, which gives you this bonus play you can make. So player who scored the touchdown is not removed from the board. Because this is a very simple game, but there's a lot to it. So because you've got impassable terrain, because you've got 6 players, then you can be in a situation where what you want to do is play very tactically. So you'll spend the first couple of turns positioning, and then it's about getting hold of the ball. So if you took possession of the ball this action, you can claim that challenge. but it depends what challenges are out. Scoring touchdowns is not necessarily the best way to win the game. Completing challenges might be. If you can score touchdowns, it's 3 points, but you do get 3-point challenges. So break some bones, if you injure somebody, that's 3 points. If you can complete that challenge. Mark 3 opponents is 2 points. Free up the ball, so if they start carrying the ball during that action, they finish up not doing it, you claim 2, so basically you knock the ball out of their hands. Go deep. If you've got 2 players from your team within the opponent's end zone or within 2 squares of it. So for goblins that might be easy to score because you've probably moved some up there. So there's a lot of challenge cards and they've got different bonus plays on the back. So when you score a challenge card, you keep it and you keep a secret what bonus play it is, and then you can play that. So inspiration. After completing your 3rd action, you can do a 4th, which can be really useful. This is a game largely about action economy, and different teams can do different things. So Beastmen in the Chaos team if you make a mark action and you've already run, you can immediately make a free block action. So normally if you're essentially blitzing, you run, then you mark, then you block. This gives you another action. Chaos blockers, you can't knock them down. They only make an armor roll. If they pass, they stay standing. Which means if somebody blocks you and doesn't knock you out because you pass your armor, you can punch them right back in the face. Then move a Beastman, mark, get a free block. So the action economies for different teams works different ways. Goblins ignore marking. So when you're within a certain range of an opponent, you're limited by your actions to block or sidestep. So you either punch them or you try and get out of the way. But all the teams play very differently. All the elves are really good at throwing. Their throwers are 2+, but you've got a lot of 5-up armour. Dwarves are terrible at throwing and not that fast. Movement 4, movement 5, 1 movement 6 model. But they've got 2-up armour on their lineman and their blitzer. Frenzied, if you make a mark action, you make a block action with your Troll Slayer. So the teams play differently. We've all just seen that they brought out rules for halfling teams and rules for undead teams, which means GW is actively working on the game at the moment. I think this prefigures a general availability version of it coming out next year, because they're not going to be investing design time on something they brought out last year unless they're planning releases. So I think they're going to be making it available for sale in the UK. Quite possibly with this start set and then rolling out the single sprue expansions. So it's going to be really interesting seeing if that's going to be the case. You do get everything you need because you've got all these card bags, but I'm going to get sleeves for them. There's a lot of good stuff in here. There is a company that makes a foam inlay that lets you put your cards, your dice, your models, your counters in. I'm going to pick that up because otherwise these cards are going to get damaged by the models and the models will get damaged by the cards. But all in all, this is a really nice set. I'm going to put these together, and if you're in the States or Germany and you can easily get hold of it, I'd recommend you pick it up. If it becomes available in the UK, and I think it's going to, I recommend you pick it up. So, if you've liked this video, hit like and subscribe. If you want to chat, leave a comment below, but otherwise, good gaming.